Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to day 172 of Quran in a Year Plus, where we learn to look at the world and live life according to the lens of the Quran. Today we're going to be looking at verses 15 to 24 of Surah Ibrahim. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واستفتحوا وخاب كل جبار عنيد. The messengers asked their Lord to grant them victory over their enemies, and every arrogant one who stubbornly opposed the truth was ruined. Those who refused to follow it even after it had become clear to them. من ورائه جهنم ويسقى من ماء صديد. Ahead of this arrogant one on the day of resurrection is hell, lying in wait for him. He will be given to drink from the flowing pus of the people of the fire, which seeps from them. It will not quench his thirst. He will continue to be tormented by thirst and by other forms of punishment. يتجرعه ولا يكاد يسيغه ويأتيه الموت من كل مكان وما هو بميت ومن ورائه عذاب غليظ. He will force himself to drink it again and again because of its intense bitterness, heat, and foulness. Yet he will not be able to swallow it. Death will come to him from every direction because of the severity of what he endures of punishment. But he will not die and find relief. Rather, he will remain alive, suffering the torment, and ahead of him is another severe punishment waiting for him. مثل الذين كفروا بربهم أعمالهم كرماد اشتدت به الريح في يوم عاصف لا يقدرون مما كسبوا على شيء ذلك هو الضلال البعيد. The example of what the disbelievers put forward of good deeds, such as charity, kindness, and mercy toward the weak, is like ashes caught by a fierce wind on a violently windy day. The wind carries it forcefully and scatters it everywhere until no trace of it remains. In the same way, disbelief has swept away their deeds, so they will not benefit their doers on the day of resurrection. That deed which was not founded upon faith is misguidance, far removed from the path of truth. ألم تر أن الله خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق إن يشأ يذهبكم ويأتي بخلق جديد. Do you not know, O human being, that Allah created the heavens and created the earth in truth? He did not create them in vain. If He so wills, He can remove you, O people, and bring forth a new creation that will worship and obey Him in your place. It is easy and effortless for Him. وَمَا ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ بِعَزِيزٍ. Destroying you and bringing another creation in your place is not difficult for Him. Exalted is He. He is fully capable over all things. Nothing can overpower Him. وبرزوا لله جميعا فقال الضعفاء للذين استكبروا إنا كنا لكم تبعا فهل أنتم مغنون عنا من عذاب الله من شيء قالوا لو هدانا الله لهديناكم سواء علينا أجزعنا أم صبرنا ما لنا من محيص. And all of creation will emerge from their graves to stand before Allah on the appointed day. The weak followers will say to the leaders and chiefs, "We were your followers. We obeyed your commands and refrained when you forbade us. Can you now protect us from any part of Allah's punishment?" The leaders will say, "If Allah had guided us, we would have guided you, and we all would have been saved from His punishment. But we went astray and led you astray. It makes no difference for us whether we panic in despair or remain patient. There is no escape for us from the punishment.
وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر إن الله وعدكم وعد الحق ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم وما كان لي عليكم من سلطان إلا أن دعوتكم فاستجبتم لي فلا تلوموني ولوموا أنفسكم ما أنا بمصرخكم وما أنتم بمصرخي إني كفرت بما أشركتمون من قبل إن الظالمين لهم عذاب أليم.
And Shaytan will say, once the people of paradise have entered paradise and the people of hell have entered hell, Allah promised you the true promise, and He fulfilled what He promised you. I also promised you, but my promise was false, and I did not fulfill it. I had no authority to force you into disbelief and misguidance in this world. I only called you to disbelief and beautified sins for you, and you rushed to follow me. So do not blame me for what has happened to you. Blame yourselves, for you are more deserving of blame. I cannot rescue you from the punishment, nor can you rescue me from it. I reject your associating me with Allah in worship. Indeed, the wrongdoers, those who associated partners with Allah and disbelieved in Him in this world, will have a painful punishment awaiting them on the day of resurrection.
وأدخل الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها بإذن ربهم تحيتهم فيها سلام.
After mentioning the fate of the disbelievers on the day of resurrection as a warning, Allah then mentions the fate of the believers as an encouragement. Unlike the destiny of the wrongdoers, those who believed and did righteous deeds will be admitted into gardens beneath whose palaces and trees rivers flow. They will remain there forever by the permission and support of their Lord. They will greet one another, the angels will greet them, and their Lord, exalted is He, will greet them with peace.
ألم تر كيف ضرب الله مثلا كلمة طيبة كشجرة طيبة أصلها ثابت وفرعها في السماء.
Do you not know, O Messenger, how Allah presents an example of the word of Tawheed? La ilaha illallah, there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. When He likens it to a good tree, which is the date palm, its trunk firmly rooted deep in the earth, drawing water through its wholesome roots, and its branches rising high into the sky, receiving the dew and breathing the pure air. As we reflect over today's verses, the prophets, they sought victory from Allah. And Allah says, and every arrogant tyrant was ruined. Imam al-Qurtubi mentions Al-Jabbar, the arrogant one who sees that no one has any right over him, and Al-Anid, the one who stubbornly opposes the truth and turns away from it. People who have these qualities and turn away from the truth stubbornly, only destruction awaits them. And Allah gives us a vivid image that this person is going to have to drink the pus of the people of the hellfire. Can you imagine how painful that is? And he will be forced to drink it but unable to swallow it, and it will not quench his thirst in the least. And Allah says that death will come to him from every place. Imam al-Qurtubi mentions that Ibrahim at-Taymi said, it comes to him from every part of his body, even from the tips of his hair, because of the pain that fills every part of him. And Ad-Dhahhak said, death comes to him from every direction and place, even from the big toe of his foot. But in that situation, there is no relief. Allah warns us of this in order for us to prepare for that day. And on that day, no excuses will be accepted. They will run to their leaders and tell them that we followed you, So now you have to come through for us. But they will tell them that we were misguided and we led you astray, and it doesn't matter what we do, there is going to be no help. And when the situation is settled, they will turn to the source of their misguidance, who was Shaytan. And what is Shaytan going to tell them? Shaytan is the greatest enemy of the children of Adam. And Allah tells us, and Shaytan will say when the matter has been decided, indeed Allah promised you the true promise. Ibn Kathir mentions, Iblis will stand among them that day delivering a speech, increasing their grief upon grief, their loss upon loss, and their regret upon regret. And he will say, I had no authority over you except that I called you and you responded to me. Shaykh Sa'di says, they are the ones who gave him authority over themselves by allying with him and joining his party. For this reason, he has no authority over those who believe and place their trust in their Lord. And Darwish mentions regarding this verse, Shaitan stands before them that day in a position that absolutely breaks them and tears their hearts apart. First, he clarifies that the promises he used to make to them in this world were false and in direct opposition to the true promise of Allah. Second, he admits that he failed them and did not fulfill any of those promises. Third, he exposes that they accepted his words even though there was nothing that justified accepting them. There was no proof, no evidence, nothing that a sound mind would rely upon in accepting the claim of another. Fourth, he makes clear that all he did was issue a bare call, empty of proof, completely void of even the smallest rational foundation that reasonable people depend on. Fifth, he reproaches them for what they fell into, removes their attempt to blame him, and commands them to blame themselves. They are the ones who accepted pure falsehood, a falsehood that is obvious to anyone with even the slightest trace of intellect. Sixth, he makes clear that there is no support, no rescue, no benefit, and no protection from him. He cannot help them nor protect himself. He is just like them, trapped in the calamity and powerless to escape. Seventh, he openly declares that he rejects what they believed about him and what they attributed to him. Their regret multiplies and their disasters increase. And Imam al-Alusi mentions that Allah relates what Shaitan will say at that time as a warning to the listeners, urging them to reflect on their own end and prepare for what is inevitable. They are to imagine that scene in which Shaitan speaks as he will speak, so that they fear and act in ways that will benefit them there. Allah tells us this reality, that this is what's waiting ahead, in order for us to be mindful, to correct our actions and to prepare for that. And that preparation is done by following Allah, by belief in La ilaha illallah, and in doing righteous deeds, because those are the people that will be entered into Jannah. And waiting for them is everlasting peace. Allah says, do you not see how Allah presents an example of a good word, the word of Tawheed, like a good tree, its roots firmly fixed and its branches high in the sky. Shaykh Sa'di says, just as the good word is like a good tree, so too is the tree of faith. Its root is firmly established in the heart of the believer, in knowledge and conviction. Its branches in good speech, righteous deeds, praiseworthy character, and noble manners rise high toward the sky. Constantly deeds and words ascend to Allah from this tree of faith. These are fruits that benefit the believer himself and benefit others as well. So as we walk away from today's episode, let us reflect of this khutbah of Shaitan, this speech of Shaitan that he is going to disassociate himself from everyone, and to see within our lives, how does he come to me? What promises is he making? And he admits that the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal is the true promise. And Allah tells us that victory comes to those who believe and do good deeds. That how can I instill that conviction in my heart? And how can I bear the fruit of that conviction, which is righteous deeds? One action that I can take in order to strengthen that. May Allah protect us from the plots of Shaitan. May He protect us from the hellfire. May He purify our hearts and fill it with faith. I'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.